one thing that is very, very, very different and will help us in a big way is retail FOMO. It doesn't exist. There's none. That's the funny thing. Bitcoin being above $50,000, roughly 10x higher than a year ago, yet the retail FOMO is almost at zero. I mean, that is mind-boggling. So I'm on Google search trends and I'm searching buy Bitcoin. Okay, you know, when there's retail FOMO, when your parents, your friends, your coworkers, they want to learn how to buy Bitcoin, what are they searching for on Google? Buy Bitcoin. That's what they're searching for. And this is example of retail FOMO in December of 2017. Okay, so going back 5 years, the rating is 100. So that's the max within the last 5 years. And of course, that was when Bitcoin went from 6,000 to 10,000 to 15,000 to 20,000 in 1 month. That's retail FOMO, okay? Since then, pretty much flat to zero. And back in January, we had a little excitement because that's when Bitcoin broke 20,000. So yeah, some people actually got excited. That was in January of this year. But what about April when Bitcoin went to 64,000? It wasn't even as high as January, which makes no sense. April, Bitcoin was at 64,000. And the retail FOMO was less than when Bitcoin broke 20,000. So think about that. And now look at where it is. It's barely registering at 10. The retail, the mom and pops, the average Joes out there, they are not thinking about Bitcoin. They're not thinking about buying Bitcoin. And they are not having fear of missing out at this point. But they will. It always happens every single cycle. When Bitcoin starts going up in a big, tremendous way, and I believe that's going to be after $100,000, it's too big to ignore, and everyone will want a piece, as they should, because Bitcoin is the future, and it is so scarce, and everyone should grab as much as they can while it's cheap, relatively speaking, because even at $56,000, it's going to be cheap compared to $100,000 and $200,000 and so forth. And it's not just Bitcoin either. I thought maybe because altcoins are so hot now, maybe people are searching other terms. For example, buy Ethereum. Nuh-uh. Buy Ethereum is really, really low too. Now, at one point in time, back in May, when Ethereum hit its peak about 4,400 or something, it did shoot up. But look at it. Retail FOMO for buy Ethereum is basically dead too at zero. And what about just something general like crypto? You could see, yeah, April, May, there was a lot of searches, but now, not so much. So what does this mean? Means that when FOMO does hit, and it's not just for Bitcoin. It's going to be Ethereum. It's going to be Cardano. It's going to be Solana. It's going to be everything. It's going to be crypto. It's going to be altcoins. Everything in the ecosystem, right? When FOMO hits, it's going to be nuts, okay? Nuts. Just think about it. Bitcoin is this high already, and we don't have FOMO yet. But when it comes in, it's going to be such a tidal wave, an avalanche of buyers, and new blood and money flowing in. It's going to be amazing. The amount of money that's going to be flowing in is unlike anything we have ever seen before. Now, you may be wondering, well, if retail FOMO doesn't exist and retail FOMO is not buying, right, is not the cause of buying, well, who is? It's because the institutions and the public trade companies, they are the ones that have bought, and they continue to buy because 2021 is very, very different because we have institutional adoption now. This list have grown so vast, so much within 1 year. Within 1 year's time, we have never had this much interest from public trade companies, from funds, from institutions, from miners. We never had this much buying going on. And this is what drove Bitcoin up to where it is now, including whales. And there's a lot of other companies that didn't disclose. Within a very short amount of time, everything I've mentioned here bought up 7% of the total supply of Bitcoin within basically a year's time. And they continue to buy more and more and more and more, right? That is why we need to follow the big money. We need to follow the smart money. They're all buying and they're trying to play catch up, right? They're trying to play catch up. So retail investors, the ones that don't know anything about Bitcoin, the ones that are not searching and learning about Bitcoin and not watching me, well, they're just losing out, and that's unfortunate. But those that are paying attention, those of you guys that have been watching me, you know that Bitcoin is the future. And there's a reason why institutions and companies and hedge funds and family offices, they're getting in. Because we're at the start of a revolution, financial revolution. Decentralization and blockchain is going to change the finance industry in the future. It's going to change it to something much better, right? And we're still at the very, very beginning. So that's why I wanted to that's the main thing I want to talk about. Why Bitcoin and the entire market is going to go much higher, driven by Bitcoin mostly, is because retail FOMO didn't even hit. And I can't wait until it does. And I do think we will see it very, 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 very soon as Bitcoin climbs higher past 60,000, heads to 70, 80, 90, 100,000 plus.